Okay, so thank you for joining this session on clone operations. So today we are going to cover four different topics. One, how a user can clone an entire object. By the entire object, we means it can clone all the fields of different types. It can clone all the layouts. It can clone all the validation rules. Plus, it can also clone all the reports which are linked to that particular object. So we have one more user. Okay. So the first topic which we're going to cover is clone object, right? So we have this is a homepage of the application, and different categories are being defined with different features defining each category. Hello, Pooja. So in the clone operation category, you will see the feature called clone object, right? Now there are requirements where the user wants to clone an object from the same org in which right now they are, or they want to clone it from some other org, which is an external org to them, right? So this application supports both type of the clone process. Either you can clone it from the current Salesforce org or from any external Salesforce org. So by the external Salesforce org, I mean the source org, right? So source org can be the same org or it can be any external org. So the first action is to define from where do you want to clone an object, right? To define an object, either you can select any existing org from here or you can add a new org here. So to add a new org, it's a very simple process. You can just click on the new environment and you can enter your and configure your org here. So to configure it, you can just give any identifier for the org, like it's a test sandbox or dev sandbox. You can enter your username, your password, and whether the org which you're trying to act as a source is a sandbox or a production. Token. The token is very mandatory for the user to enter. So in case if you're not having your token, then you won't have to worry about it. You can get your token very easily. Just hover over the question mark and it's giving you the steps from where you can get your token. You can generate a new token, right? So once your org is added here and configured, it will show you uh, the success message here. The org is added, right? Now I'm going to choose one of the existing org, right? This test RH, right? Now from the source org, which object I want to clone? I'm just going to take an object called account, a very basic, right? So now in the target org, the current org in which the application is, here, do I want to create a new object or I want to use an existing object? If you want to create a new object, it's going to give you an option to enter the name of the new object. So let's give a test demo account. Now, from the source object account, what kind of properties you want to copy or clone? You want to clone all the custom fields, right? Now, the fields are divided here in the three categories. One, only primitive. Second, or relationship fields. Relationship means lookup or master child. All formula fields, right? So user can choose the different types of fields which they wants to clone. Now, do you want to clone validation rules as well? Yes. Do you want to clone all the layouts? Now, in case of layout, it's going to copy only the layouts, the section part only, section and the fields. The reason for that is there can be any custom buttons which are being referring the Apex or some Lightning components. So this application does not clone the Apex or Lightning components. So that's why we are just cloning the sections part of the layout only and not the whole other things, other elements, right? Now, once your action have been defined, you can choose, do you want to set the field permissions of your new object? If you want to, if you're not interested, then you can just select no. If you're interested, then you can select for which profiles you want to set the permissions, right? You can select one or multiple profiles from here. Now, once your permissions are selected for the profiles, the last option is to define the action on the global pick list. Now, there can be some pick list fields which are referring the global pick list, which are available in your source org, right? Now, the same global pick list can also exist in the target org as well, right? So, what kind of action do you want to take if any global pick list with the same name exists across both the orgs? Like Source org has a global pick list called country. Target also has a global pick list called country. So, do you want to override or no? Right? I hope you can see my screen and can hear me, right?
I can hear you well. Looking all good.
Perfect. So once all the configuration has been defined, now you are ready to clone the object. Now just click on this button and let's wait for the process to take an action. Okay, now the first action is to create new object. You have to click on the creates one by one and your action will be done. Just click on the create first. Now it's going to take a few seconds to check out the fields and the other things. Now you can see your create new object action is green, which means your new object with a name called test demo is created. To view that object, you can just click on the view object. Now you will see this object is created with all the properties cloned from there without any fields because we have created only the object right now. Now, the next create says that there are 6 primitive fields, custom fields in this object. So just click on that and your all the 6 custom fields are copied into the object. So if I go to the object and I refresh it, you can see my all the 6 fields are here now, right? The same way you have to do the actions for the other things like there are no relationship fields, zero relationship fields, so no relationship field found. Formula fields, it's saying that there are 3 formula fields. I can click on the create here. Now my formula fields are created. If I go to the object and I refresh, I can see my 3 formula fields are here now. It's showing me here, right? The same way I can, there are 50 validation rules. So if I click on the create, now it's going to create those 50 rules for me on the object. If I go and refresh it, you can see my validation rules are here now. So if I check the count, you can see there are 50 validation rules here. So it was just now layouts also. There are 8 layouts. If I click on the create, now in the matter of few minutes only, with the small configurations, we have cloned the entire object with all the fields, layouts, validation rules, right? So this is how the whole clone object feature works, where it can help you to perform your manual action in a very few simple steps, right? Any questions from anyone on this feature, the whole feature? I think the silence means no. Yeah, sorry.
The only limitation which I noticed is that for some field types, it's then difficult to make the linkages if you have like maybe you recall the call which we had that we had that I wanted to copy something from a different field with a like I think it was a multi-pick list and the other one was a text area, and I could not reference to them later. But maybe this is more referring to the uploading of text fields than of the cloning. Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, the
I think
issue.
we're talking about the data, right? You want to copy the data into those fields, right? And not the,
Exactly, that's what. Yeah, we want to just source the data from one object to the other, so it's actually less related to the cloning.
yes,
But
that's so
it
this
was
feature,
in the
yeah, in this feature, we are just migrating the configuration only and we are not migrating the data, real data.
uh,
I hope I answered your query right.
Thanks so much.
Perfect. Okay, so apart from this, you can also use any existing object here. If you have your object already there in the system, you can use your existing object to manage your actions, right? So both the options we have given it. Perfect. In case of existing object, it's also going to give you one more option where whether you want to clone any existing field or not, like you want to override any existing field or no. Like there could be some field which are already there in the object. So whether you want to override them or you want to just skip them from the clone part, right? So that's also option there in the existing object. So in case if you have any questions or any doubts on this feature, you can just refer the blog and the video we have on the top. If you click on the blog, it's going to give you the same step-by-step guidance which I have given you on this session. So this, so it has all the steps which I have just briefed you. Like you can just click on the clone object, perform the step one by one, select source or source object and all. So you can refer the blog page for any issues or any guidance. And if still you have any doubts, you can just drop an email to me anytime, and you can I will be there to help you with that. So this is how the clone object feature works here, right? Now let's jump on to the other feature, which is clone fields. Now, there are scenario in which in the clone object, it was cloning the entire object in a single click, right? But now you have some requirement like you want to just copy only the 10 fields of your contact from the source org to the target org to a limited set of fields, right? So for that, you can refer the clone field operation, the clone field feature which we have, and which you can select which fields you want to clone it to the target org. It's going to work in the same way the way the other one works. You can select the source org. You can select the source object from the target. You can just select the target object in which you want to copy. So let's take the same object which we have just added out, test demo object, test demo account. Now, do I want to set the field permissions for the new fields? No. Now, if the fields are already there, do I want to override them or should I skip those process? I just want to override and just skip the process for overridden. Second is for the global action for the global pick list. I want to avoid the overridden part. So once my configuration is ready on the clone field feature, I can just click on the fetch source org to show me the list of fields on the account object in the source org test RH. Right now, it's showing me the list of fields here in the form of a table. Right. If I have like 100, 200 fields, it has given me an option where I can filter them by the field name or I can filter them by the field type. Like if I want to just search the fields for the text type only, I can just filter them by the text keyword. So that's also option we have given here. So you can filter out if you have a lot of fields you want to filter out by name or a type, you can filter them to choose which fields you want to clone there, right? Now, once my filter is done, right, I can just select all the fields or any selective fields which I want to copy or clone, right? Now, before I click on the green button, this is to clone. Just going to brief what we are doing. We are trying to clone these four fields of the account object which belongs to the source of test RH, right? And now we are trying to clone this four fields into our current org. The object name is test demo account, right? And if I click on that button, it's going to ask me for the final confirmation and okay. Now you can see it's showing me a red message. Red message means the fields are already there in the object. Why it's showing me this message? Because we have selected the option called clone and do not override. So if, because it's not do not override, that means it's showing me that the fields are already there in the system. If I select override, in that case, it will override and it will clone the fields for me with a successful message, right? So this is how the if you want to override any pick list or multi pick list, you can easily override the new values or the old values from the object here, right? This is how the clone field feature works, where you can clone any specific set of fields from any source org to any target org and do it. Any questions from anyone on this feature?
All good. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
Perfect. So the same the way we have for the clone object, we have the reference for the blog and the videos. The same step-by-step methods which I have briefed you, you can easily refer there and you can just make an action to perform. Right now, the next we have is the clone validation rules. The clone you can easily clone the rules as well. The rules I have already shown you on the clone object, but still we have the separate feature where you can clone the validation rules as well. So I'm just going to take you to that feature. So you can go to the validation rule category. You can come and you can come to the clone rules here. Now in the validation rule feature, you can come to the clone from the external org, right? The same process. You can just select the source org from where you want to clone, the object name from where you want to clone uh, the rules, and which target org you want to clone it, in which target object you want to clone it, right? And you can click it. So it's once you click on that, it's going to show you the list of all the rules which are available on this object. So you can see on this test RH object, sorry, on the test RS org, you have account object which has these many validation rules. So whichever value validation you want to clone, you can just select them and you can just click on this green button. So once you're going to click on this button, it's going to clone the same rules on the target object which you have selected out here, right? So this is how the validation rule feature works, where you can easily clone the rules in a few simple steps only, in a few simple clicks only. Any questions on this one, Christian? Okay, by the silence means it's all okay. Now, the last feature for today demo is how we can clone reports, right? That's the new and the latest feature as a part of this application. Now, I think you have already used Salesforce reports where you can easily see the data in the different tables and all, right? And Salesforce Orgs has a lot of reports which are there. Now, if you want to clone any set of reports from one org to another org, it's a time consuming process to manually create the reports, choose a report type, create the folders and all those things. Because to create a report, we have to create a folder first. Second, we have to create the report type, to which type the report belongs to. For example, let me just show you how what the report type is and what the report is. If you will go to the Salesforce report, it's going to ask you to create a tab, create a folder in which you want to keep the report, right? The first step is to create a folder or define a folder in which your folder is going to be, your report is going to be there, part of it. Second, when you click on the new report, it's going to ask you to choose a report type. Now, Salesforce has given a limited set of report types, but you can also add your custom report types as well, right? Now, those custom report types is a very a manual task to copy those report types, to copy the fields and all those things, and to migrate them. To skip those process, we have the feature in the BOFC which can help you to perform all these actions for you. It can create your folders, it can create your report types, it can also create your reports. Let's see how it works out. Now, in the reports and dashboard section, you can click on the import or clone report from external org. Very simple. You can just select the source org from where you want to clone the reports. Let's take a test RH. Now, in the test RH org, you have these list of folders. Now, from which folder you want to copy the report, you can select any specific folders or you can choose the public folder as well. Now, what type of action you want to take on the report? Like if any report with the same name is already there, so do you want to overwrite or you want to skip it? I want to skip it. The same question it is asking you for the report types. If it's there with the same name, you want to skip it or you want to add it. And the same question is going to ask you for the report folder because these are three different entities: reports, report type, and report folders. Right now, once my configuration is done, I can just click to see the list of reports which are part of the public folder. Right, it's showing me all the reports which are available in the public folder in the test org in this source org. Right now, this is a report name, these are the report types, the folder name, what type of report it is. It's a tabular, summary, or multi-format descriptions, right? Now, whichever report I want to clone, I will just select that report and I will click on this blue button to initiate the clone process. So before I go ahead, any questions till here, Christian, or for me? Till here, any doubts on this feature?
No, no doubts at all. No, the thing is, we just haven't worked with report very much yet.
Yeah.
So this is like a complete new topic, and we haven't seen them in Salesforce yet to really estimate the power or what we can do with these functionalities of
Okay.
Salesforce.
Perfect. So I think are you using the reports in the Salesforce?
Parts of our organization, but Olayoka and I have not touched upon it much yet at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So before I ahead, let me just show you one report, like how the report looks like. So let's take an example. You have your sales report in which you have list of columns, list of the things, right? Uh, a better example. Okay, so like this one. So this is your test company report in which you have list of columns, right? Now to create each report, you have to copy each column one by one and just add the filters and all those things and all. So that doing an action is a manual and a time consuming process, right? So to avoid that process to creating these reports automatically, we have this feature to clone reports, right? So once you have selected the reports, you can just click on this button. It's going to show you a pop-up, which is going to ask you for the final confirmation. Now, first action is to, to create the report types. So right now, if there is any report type which is not in the current system, it will automatically copy them there, right? So it's completing the process and it's going to show us what is action. Now it's showing us that this report type name is already there. So it's not nothing, it's not required to clone anything. Report folder, as this report folder is a part of public folder only, and public folders are always there in every Salesforce org. So there is nothing to clone for the report folder. Final, we have to clone report. We can just click on this button. Okay, now it's showing me that these two reports are already there in this current org. So there is no action is required from my end. Why it's showing me that report already exists? Because I have chosen the option to do not override. So if I choose the option to override, and let's see how it works now. So if I choose an option to clone over reports, so now you can see as I have chosen the override action, so it has overridden my current reports with the new configurations, and now the reports are successfully cloned in the current org. So you can easily perform your manual actions in a very few simple steps only. So you won't have to waste your hours and hours of time to perform any actions, which can so this application can be a big time saver to perform any actions for you, right? So these are how the clone operations which we have on this feature works for you. So we have four different clone features. One is to clone an entire object, clone any specific set of fields, clone layouts, clone validation rules, and clone reports. So the five clone features which we have in the system currently, right? Any questions from for me on these five features, which I have just briefly on this demo?
Just last, just short question on the last thing which you showed. Is there also a chance that I clone a report in in the, yeah, just here, that I do the clone and clone it into the same one, but I give it a new name while doing the cloning?
No, actually,
So
that's
basically,
you can clone it from the same org, right? But
yes.
right now we have not given the option to change the report name. But yes, I think
Mhm.
that's a good a feature you have just shared with me. So we'll surely add that capability in the application so that user can clone the reports from the same org with a different name.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Because then if you just want to do a minor change, if you have version A and A prime, that you could directly do the cloning and do the give the new name here at the same instance. That would
Okay.
be, I think, helpful. Yeah.
Yep, that's a good advice. So we'll surely take a note of it, and we'll surely get it added in the upcoming releases of the BFC. Any other queries or questions for me on this one?
No, thank you so much. So far, we've been mostly working with a bulk field creation.
Okay.
That was a major workhorse there,
Actually,
because
in the
we,
field creation, so are you creating the fields manually using an Excel sheet, or how you're creating it?
yeah, I'm using the an Excel sheet. Depending on the type of object, some are smaller and some has been very long Excel sheets, because we've been running a bunch of surveys with Salesforce,
Okay.
and for that the field, some of the objects had, I don't know, 40, 60 different fields newly created. Um,
Okay.
some are even referring to other objects to have lookups, or I call them text lookups. So formula text fields which we're referring to other objects, and for this we were using BOFC all the time. Yeah.
Sure. So along with the file option, we also have an option to choose from the current any source org as well. Like if you want to import the fields directly from any other org, you can directly import it from here. So you can choose any source org from where you want to import it. You can directly import here as well. So here we have three options to import the fields from any other org. Second, to manually add the rows. And the third is to choose a file with the template, right? Now, in the manual option also, we have a capability like you can add bulk number of rows in a single click. Like if you want to add 10 text rows, just select 10 and click add. So you can see there are 10 rows which are automatically added here. So you can manually fill them if you want to fill them manually, right? If you want to add any other pick list, any other type of fields, like if you want to add two phone fields, just click two. So you can see there are two phone fields added. If you want to add two pick list, so this is also a capability which we have where you can add the bulk number of rows in a single click as well, apart from the templates, right?
Um, I mean the